stay. Okay. Hey there, folks. It's been a couple months since I've posted a video, I know. I have no excuse. I have no excuse. You can probably tell we're in a different place. We're in the basement. Ironically, there is more light down here. If you watch any of my art videos where it's like my hands and I'm telling you what's going on with my painting, you are in the same location, except you're pointed at me rather than down at the desk. Okay? So I figured the problem with the quality of the previous videos where you're looking at my face is that the lighting's just bad. So I thought, why not come down here where the lighting has already been set up for videos, right? I just didn't want you to see the mess that is this room. It's actually not that bad, but there is a lot of stuff and it's cluttery and it looks bad, but it's actually pretty well organized and clean. We keep it tidy, actually. It just looks bad. So I wanted to talk to you about cross stitch, about painting, and I have an art quilt or two to show you. I don't know if I'm going to show you the second one because it's not done. But let's start in with cross stitch because I have a big finish. Big finish. I'm really super excited to show you this. This is Mini Eveline by Heaven and Earth Designs. Original art Cheryl Baker. Dun, 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 dun. Finished. Isn't she beautiful? Oh my gosh, I love her so much. I mean, there were times that I hated her, but I actually do love her so much. This was on 25 count and I did it 2/1 tent stitch. Never again. Don't regret a thing. It's just never again. The funny thing is I took a bunch of pictures and, you know, posted it on the Facebook groups and then I noticed there's 2 stitches missing way down here. Right down in here there's 2 stitches missing and I don't know, because she's had a bath, she's been ironed and pressed and everything, she's just ready to be stretched and put into a frame. I don't know if I should just like fill in those stitches with some random color because I've actually put them all back into my master DMC set, or if I should just leave them there and if anybody notices, give them either a candy or a slap in the face, depending on my mood. I don't know what to do. Honestly, I'd probably leave them because you only notice if you're looking so close. And if you're looking so close, as somebody who's never seen it before, you're probably looking, you know, in the face area and the feathers, not so much down here on this, on the, you know, I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about that. So, my other projects have also gotten a lot of progress, not finishes though. I'm pretty sure, let's go with the other Heaven and Earth design that I'm working on. This one is not nearly as far along. It's a little bit of a smaller piece, but it's not my main focus, so I only work on it here and there. I'm gonna organize these threads a little bit for you because they're hanging down. Okay. Here we go. I did not press it or anything, and I have no excuse because the iron is right behind me. Here we go. This is, what is this? This is Mini Herp, art by Suzanne Geisman. I think that's how you say it. And I'm doing this 1/1 full cross. I like full cross so much better than tent stitch. I thought, because, you know, Eveline was my first, like, real full coverage where, I kind of knew what I was doing, but it turned out I didn't know what I was doing. And so full cross is so much easier to start and stop your threads. And I am trying diagonal stitching right there. It's I I've watched some YouTube videos where they go line by line diagonally and they park. Let's say they go left to right on row 1. Row 2 and other subsequent even rows, they'll go right to left and then park accordingly in the first stitch. And I'm just like, I cannot tell. Is this an even row or an odd row? So I'm like, I always park in the first occurrence, topmost first occurrence of that symbol. And sometimes if I want to go the other direction, I'm skipping stitches over here when the thread belongs over there, and I forget that that thread is actually parked over there, and then I start a new thread and then run into the thread that I was supposed to be using. So if you followed that at all, just know that that's not how I do it. If you didn't follow it all, don't worry. What I decided to do, which works pretty well for me, it's a little bit faster, is I continue on, how do I explain this? I go from left to right, no matter what. I complete the color so long as it is underneath an already stitched stitch. I do not make holes. I do not trap myself. I think of it in my brain as a cave. Like, I don't go into the cave because there's a bear there, right? I don't make a cave, but I will continue on the color as long as it is underneath one that has already been stitched. And I have found that that makes my stitches very neat, and it is quicker because I am not unthreading and threading my needle every single time that I need to go on to the next stitch. And right in this area, lots and lots and lots of colors. I'm pretty sure there's 88 colors in this design. I'm pretty sure 80 of them are in this area here. So anyway, I've also changed the way that I start my threads and end my threads. I start my threads within an away knot. It's not a knot, it's just an away thread, and like a front lasso, so that I don't ever have to turn it over and like tuck it in. And then I end with a pin stitch if I have room. If I don't have room, then I'll turn it over and tuck it in. But the way that I have started doing this, I don't ever have to turn the work over. And yeah, sometimes there's trouble in the back where you get one of those little loopy knots, but I've noticed that if I keep my finger on there, I can notice when that happens right away and fix it. So also the back is a teeny bit neater. Let's look at this. So here in this area we're doing columns cross country within 200 stitches, and I'll park within the next 200 stitches. That's what that's going on there. And then this is the diagonal method. So there's a lot less hairs flying off, a lot less carried threads. All carried threads get covered over rather than less of them, but you know, it's just a little tiny bit neater. And I have noticed that here, this spot here, was my columns, going by columns and cross country within 200 stitches. And I can feel it's like bumpy, because there's like a lot of color changes. I have to start a thread and end a thread, start a thread and end a thread, and that builds bulk, and it's bumpy. On the top, I can feel it, it's bumpy. Here, same amount of color changes, it's perfectly smooth. Feels so smooth. And I like it better. Anyway, enough about that. If you're here for the painting, I'm sorry you had to listen to all that. Feel free to skip forward anytime. Okay, so my other project, other full coverage, I mean, is, what is this called? It's called Leopard, and it's by Z, is that right? Z Anna Cross Stitch on Etsy. And I'm also doing the diagonal method on this one. This was sort of my first experiment with the diagonal, and then I added it onto my Hermf. So the Hermf is 25 count Wedgwood Lagana, and this is 22 count Hardanger. Last time you saw it, I think I was almost done with this first page. That's like, it takes up like this much of that's what the pages are. And so this is what I have. And you can see how big it is. If you can see that gridding, that's how big it'll be. So, where am I there? There we go. I love this chart. I love it so much. The picture, which hopefully I will have inserted, if not right here. The picture is, it really caught me as because the leopard is like a predatory animal, right? And it seems so peaceful looking. So I really liked the feeling of the painting, but I love the chart. I love the chart because they're like, I want to say 68 colors. I'm not sure. Don't quote me. There's less than your average HAED, but the colors that were chosen, or the program chose, I'm sure the designer has some sort of autonomy over that, but the colors, the most perfect colors, because as an artist, I can appreciate how difficult it is to go from warm to cool and not get mud in the middle. Okay, there's no mud. No mud in these colors. And look at this. From the cheek of the leopard is warm colors, and then it goes cool colors. Isn't that just amazing? And every single time I like grab a new color and put it in, and it fits perfectly, and I've like gone a distance, and all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute. When did I change from warm to cool? When did this happen? I don't know. And it's just magic every single time. So I'm doing the diagonal method, of course, and you can see the difference in the back. So here, this top row of pages, I did cross country, and then here we did diagonal. Much, much neater. Not that the back super matters, but you know, I learned from my Eveline that it does kinda, because it's bumpy. You don't really want a bumpy back. It's you know. So there we go. There's the back. Here's the front again. I really loved working on this. I really wanted to finish Eveline before the end of the year, and I had to make myself stop working on this so that I would actually accomplish that goal. And I probably could have worked on it more because I finished her really early. I thought I would have to be like crunch time December 30th and really, you know, get it done before the 1st of January, and here it is November, what the heck is it? November what? 25th. I'm done, so. Okay. My other whip that I have worked on since my last video is, I think it's called Wild Rose Blues. I got it from My Bobbin. I don't know, I can't remember the designer name. And it's not even one of those really hard Russian names to say. It's a Russian name, but I can't remember it, but it wasn't hard to say. I can't remember. Oh, I feel so bad. Anyway, here we go. Last time I showed it to you, I believe I just had a good portion of the flower done, and now I've got back stitching and some leaves. And this is another one that I really, really love. I actually have to stop myself working on it because then it will be done, and then what am I going to do? It is on 32 count petal. Picture this plus. And I know, computer monitors and dial-lots and all that, but I really do feel like I was misled a little bit because this is white, right? It's supposed to be mint and pink, but it's just white. It's very subtle. You can see it Kinda. Maybe. It's very lovely fabric. It's very nice to work on. I do not regret my purchase. However, I do feel like I was misled just a tiny bit. I have some ideas on how to oomph the color. Don't know if they're gonna work, so I think I said something about them in my last video. So if you're really curious, go ahead and look. But I really don't know if it's gonna work, so I don't really want to say it out loud. Okay, new start from the last video is 6 pages from 1603, Works by ABC, and I actually have the pattern in front of me. That's what it looks like. I am working on this one. And obviously it's meant to be like a all at once sort of thing, and it's beautiful that way. I'm definitely going to stitch it that way one of these days. However, I thought these would be perfect biscornus, and so here we go. I'm doing it 1/1 on 28 count antique white. I am using Gutermann silk. I did not know Gutermann made silk. I was at my Joann's buying Gutermann sewing thread, and they were like, silk is on sale. Buy one, or you buy 3 or something and you get 1 half off. I don't know, whatever their sale was. And I'm like, oh, look at all of this thread. I can pick some thread and get a good deal. So I was like, wait a minute, silk? I didn't know they made silk. And I bet you it's for like hand applicators like silk because it really glides through and it's practically invisible. But this silk thread was kind of thick, and I thought, I've seen applique silk before. It's really super thin, like spiderweb thin. This was really super thick, and I'm like, I could cross stitch that totally. So I bought one, and there we go. And there we go, 6 pages from 1603. Haven't worked on it a lot, but there we are. 28 count white. I like blue and white designs. I really, really do. I thought, this is a remnant from my horses, I believe. A Jehnzen horses that I did. And it's this big. So, you know, I started over here because I'm frugal like that. Instead of like right in the middle. And then I thought, maybe there's room for all of them. All 6 of them. And I could do them all in a line and not do biscornus. But I'd have to really measure this and find out. I have doubts that it's big enough. But wouldn't that be cool if it was? Okay. That's it for my cross-stitching whips. Let's do the art quilt that I finished. Alright. I started an art quilt October 5th. I'm doing it with my cousin. We bought a pattern from the AQS show, and we decided to try it together. And it looks really great. I really like it, but it's not finished yet. So if I do another one of these videos, it'll definitely be featured there. If you never see another video like this from me again, check out my Instagram because it will definitely be there and you'll be able to see it. So the reason why I bring it up is because it calls for being stretched on stretcher bars, like an art canvas, right? I have seen, when we went to Paducah to the National Quilt Museum, there was art quilts there that had been stretched on stretcher bars, and I thought, oh, that's great, because number one, it's like a built-in hanging system, right? People know how to hang canvases. They don't have to be like with like a quilted wall hanging. They're like, what do I do? And even if there's already a sleeve on there, they're like, what, you know, how's this work? So like, people know how to hang canvases, and it really emphasizes that this is a piece of art rather than a quilt, which is supposed to be used. Because like, there's sort of like a disconnect between practical quilts and art quilts if your practical quilt is supposed to be used and your art quilt, like if you don't call it an art quilt, it kind of seems useless because you can't use it in the practical manner that you can anyway. We bought the pattern, and I went online to get the stretcher bars, and of course you can't just buy one or two, you have to buy 12, and totally reasonable because shipping costs and all that stuff, totally reasonable. I bought many, so I thought I could at least practice, because I really have never done that before. Never stretched an art quilt onto stretcher bars. I have done actual, like, make my own painting canvases, but it never turned out well, so I thought I really needed practice. So I made this. This is 8 by 10 raw edge applique with some free motion quilting as the black lines. See? And it is on stretcher bars. I think the back looks pretty cool because you can see the quilting there. And I put in some screw eyelets and some picture hanging wire, and you just, you stretch it and staple it. I actually had to buy a staple gun because the ones we had were not good. Anyway, really pleased with this. Look at that. Wow. Yes? No? I think so. Anyway. And it's pretty tight. Not super tight. It would never be super tight because just the nature of the beast. There's like batting in here, and there's multiple layers and things, and even though I ironed it, you can still see like, okay, right, come on, right there we go. You can see like wrinkles in it. I'm alright with it. Lesson learned. Great success, I would say. And it can just be hung on the wall very easily. I wanted to show you pardon me. I wanted to do a very quick run through of the paintings I have for sale. I considered making a separate video so I could really go in depth. Maybe I will. I don't know. I just want to do a quick run through of not all of the paintings I have for sale. I thought I would do all the ones that are $20. They are mostly watercolor. Some of them are mixed media. None of them are matted or framed, and that's why they're only $20. And they are 6 by 9 inches. They are spanning years of my work. Like this one that was on top is 2016, and the one on the bottom was this year. Okay, sorry, the phone ring. Might happen again. Okay, so also I've packaged them for craft shows, and that's why they have a label and a little hanging. It's just a bulldog clip. The bulldog clip. If you buy one, the bulldog clip will be removed. Probably not the label. Okay. They all come in plastic sleeves. What else? They're all on 100% watercolor paper. 6 by 9. Various media. Okay. So this one, 2016, is watercolor and ink. And I remember doing this one when I first got like really good watercolors. So it's kind of old. Okay, this one, it's a lighthouse, a Michigan lighthouse. My cousin took the reference photo. And this is watercolor and acrylics. And I did that one in 2019 too. This one, mixed media. It is watercolor acrylics, and colored pencil. It is a portrait of Jack Elam. I love his wonky face. This one is straight up watercolor. It was a Frugal Crafter live stream tutorial thing. This one, watercolor. I love doing roses this way. I shouldn't have to stop myself, but I do. I should just let myself paint as many roses as this way as I want to. Okay, this one is a hibiscus flower watercolor. My aunt grew these ginormous hibiscuses. I took a picture and I painted it. Okay, here we go. This is a watercolor and ink. It looks like it's a mixed media because I did some stenciling work here and in the background, but all that is watercolor. The only ink is the dark that you see along the edges and in the middle. So this was also, it was like inspired from a Frugal Crafter video, but mine turned out so much different from hers that I don't know if it counts. Okay, this one I have shown in a video previously. It's apple blossoms, and I did it from my imagination. Watercolor. Okay, this one is, I call it Tranquility, because last year's Inktober, not 2019's, but 2018's Inktober, the prompt was Tranquility, and I thought, you know, what is more calm than a night scene with calm waters? And then I put in the moon because of the Sea of Tranquility on the moon. So, it's inspired by the Inktober prompt that I did. This is not the original Inktober, however, it is an original piece, and it's watercolor. This one was also a Frugal Crafter video. It's watercolor and colored pencil. This one also Frugal Crafter video, just watercolor. Okay, there's a little bit of white gel pen in there. And then this one is, I did a whole video of the process of this one, and it is watercolor. Okay, so all of those are $20. If you want one, email me. I will PayPal you. I will ship it to you. Those are just the ones that I have that are 6x9 by 20. I have a lot that I really need to sell. I need to find some sort of website situation. I guess that's it. I don't know what else. What else could I do? Yeah, that's it. I hope that you enjoyed this video. As always, thanks for watching.